friends, it's Andrew here. Thank you for joining me today. This is season 2, episode 4 of my Shibuki pot series. So whether it's Chinese food or Japanese food, I always find that having a noodle dish is the perfect way to round off a delicious meal. Today I'll be showing you how to make Yakiudon with beef in the Shibuki pot. Yakiudon is a Japanese noodle dish which is made of udon noodles, which are white in color and chewy in texture. These noodles are stir-fried with an assortment of veggies and protein of choice. Protein is usually pork, chicken, or beef, cut up into slices, and then everything is coated in a sweet and savory sauce. So let's get started. Okay, so to make this dish, you're gonna need some udon noodles, which you can find at most grocery stores, if not at your Asian grocery store. There is the dried version, which you can prepare according to the package. Another version that you can find is the prepared version in the freezer section, which is what I have here. And what I'm gonna do with this one is I'm going to just soak it into some hot tap water for a couple of minutes and let them thaw and loosen. Now we really don't want these to stay in here for that long to prevent it from, I guess, maybe absorbing extra liquid. Okay, so as soon as they're loosened, we can take them out. Okay, so they're pretty loose. I'm going to just dump out the water here. Okay, now I'm just going to put them in my container here for later. I'm also going to add a bit of oil just to prevent them from sticking together. Okay, now let's prepare our veggies. Usually you find that Yakiudon has cabbage, carrots, onions, bell peppers. I'm going to be using all of those ingredients plus button mushrooms because I like button mushrooms. So we're gonna thinly slice all of our vegetables. Okay, so we're going to be using 1 small carrot, 2 small cabbage leaves, half of a small onion, 1/4 of a bell pepper, and 5 button mushrooms. Okay, so I'm just going to cut these into matchsticks. Now I'm going to thinly slice my cabbage leaves. Okay, so now we're going to cut half of a small onion into thin slices. And now our button mushrooms. I'm also going to mince 1 clove of garlic. I'm also going to add a green onion here to toss in at the very end. Now you don't have to use the whole stalk, just as much as you like, or even if you want to omit it, that's okay too. What a crime. I almost forgot the bell pepper. So we're just going to use 1/4 of this. Now we're going to slice up about 1/4 of a pound of beef. I have here strip loin. It actually looks really gorgeous. After I'm done with this recipe, I might just end up frying the rest of it and eating as is. Anyway, so we're going to cut half of this, which is half a pound here, into thin slices. Okay, so next we're going to make the sauce in this little container here. We're going to stir together half a tablespoon of Japanese soy sauce, half a tablespoon of oyster sauce, half a teaspoon of mirin, 1 teaspoon of ketchup, half a teaspoon of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of sesame oil, and a pinch of black pepper. Okay, now we're going to stir this all together. Okay, so now it's time to cook. I just have a plate here and I'm going to separate my green onion from the rest of my veggies because that doesn't go in until the very end anyway. Okay, and then also just to make things a little easier on myself, I'm going to take out the garlic as well. If you can't get it all, no worries. So now I'm going to turn my Shibuki pot on to low and add about a tablespoon of oil. Let that warm up for a little bit before I add my garlic. Okay, so now once that starts smelling fragrant, I'm going to add my beef. And we're just gonna cook this until the beef is no longer pink. If stuff is getting stuck onto the bottom of your Shibuki pot, just go ahead and scrape it off with some of the juices that are going to be that are coming from the beef. Okay, let's turn off our Shibuki pot here and remove our beef. Okay, so now if necessary, we're going to add in another tablespoon of oil. If you don't have any grease at the bottom of your Shibuki pot, let's turn the heat back on to low and add some of these veggies in. Actually, we're gonna add all the veggies in. Because there's a lot of veggies in here, you run the risk of steaming your veggies rather than stir frying. Another option is that you can individually cook your ingredients so that your veggies will be a little more crisp. I like my veggies on the softer side, so I don't mind that these are going to get steamed. We're just going to stir fry this for about a minute or two. Okay, now I'm going to add in my sauce and stir for another minute or two. You find that stuff is getting stuck to the bottom of your Shibuki pot, do feel free to add in an extra bit of liquid and just scrape it off. Then you can go ahead and add your beef back in, quick stir, and then add the noodles in, stir, and once you're all done stirring this together, almost forgot the green onion. You can go ahead and enjoy. Here it is, friends, Yakiudon in the Shibuki pot. Quick and easy for a delicious meal on its own or to round off your meal. Thank you again for joining me today. If you liked my video, please click the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more food ideas to make in the Shibuki pot. Until next time, friends, mwah!